The careers crashes list is our list of the top 7 biggest professional flameouts of the year. So, when making this list and deciding what is or is not a career crash, we're really looking at people whose reputations have been severely damaged. And in the past, some of these people we put on our list, they're really unable to recover professionally from the events that caused them to crash. We're really looking at every professional, whether that's people in the entertainment industry or an athlete or the corporate world or executives or even politics. We look at a wide range of people. Last year, we had 13 people make the list, and this year we only had 7. And that's just, a sign of the times. It so happened that the 7 worst, in our opinion, were men, which I thought was really interesting. We did consider some women, but none made the cut or had as big of a crash as all these men did. We're still working remotely, and a lot of companies are even making the switch to go fully remote. So you may not be seeing, thankfully, as much of those scandals as you would be seeing prior to the pandemic. This year was really different because for the first year, we had a Zoom professional crash. That was with Jeffrey Toobin. His exposure incident on Zoom obviously led to him leaving the New Yorker, which is a very 2020 thing that happened. When people think of the pandemic and how a career can come to a halt, they think of Zoom mishaps because that's really the way the world is right now. And that's a new thing on our list that I don't think we've ever experienced. We saw a lot of incidents really centered around the social justice movement. Like, for example, with Adam Rappaport, who was the former editor of Bon Appetit, right after George Floyd's death, there was a big movement of a photo circulating of him in brown face, which caused quite a stir on the food and journalist scene, just brought to light all these realizations about how BIPOC people are treated at publications, and led to his ultimate resignation. Same with Greg Glassman at CrossFit, didn't have a brown face incident, but was making some really off-color comments about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and his death as well. So that's been a new trend that we haven't seen before. I think the biggest crash this year would be Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani is a really interesting character because he was so high in public opinion, especially right after 9/11. He was called America's mayor, to where he is today, where he's kind of the mouthpiece of Donald Trump, and has tied himself and his fate so closely with that of the president. There was so many things that you can say about Rudy Giuliani, but I think the most memorable thing, or at least the funniest, was his infamous press conference at the Four Seasons in Philadelphia, which was actually a landscaping shop. And then shortly after that, his leakage, hair dye, possibly incident with his hair, or something running down his face during a press conference. So it's been interesting to see how many different scandals he's found himself in this year. My biggest advice for people to avoid being on our career crashes list is to keep it professional. No matter if you're, sitting at home on your bed or physically going in somewhere to work, you have to always remember to be professional